Welcome students in this session of quantitative aptitude, time, speed and distance. Okay, in this particular lecture we are initially introduced with some basic problems and then gradually we'll discuss some of the advanced problems at the end. These are some of the basic formulas that you have to remember. For distance is equal to speed and speed into time. If d is the distance, s is the speed and t is the time, what you have to remember is that if d is constant, then s and t are inversely proportional. On the other hand, if t is constant, then d and s are inversely proportional. Okay, and if s or the speed is constant, then distance and time, they are proportional. So these are the basic three things that you have to remember. Then very quickly we can solve many problems. Some more formulas that you try to remember: that average speed, you know that total distance divided by total time. If we have to find out the average speed and it is known that the distance is constant and same distance is covered at x km per hour and y km per hour, then average speed will be harmonic mean. That is, for two speeds it will be 2xy by x plus y. For a certain time a body moves x and for the same time it moves y. So if the time is constant instead of a distance, then average speed will be simple arithmetic mean. Okay, this is a very important conversion. To convert from kilometer per hour unit to meter per second, you have to simply multiply by 5 by 18. In a reverse way, to convert to kilometer per hour from meter per second, you have to multiply by 18 by 5. Now let us start solving problem. So here you can see that the problem is walking at 4/5 of usual speed. That means the speed is less than the usual speed. A turtle is taking 20 minutes extra because 20 minutes late on his way to pool. Find the usual time. Okay, so here you can see the speed is less. If the speed is less, then the time required will be more because they are inversely related. So if speed is 4/5, then the time required will be 5 by 4 of the original time. So how much more than the original time? So how much more from 1? So 5 by 4 is nothing but 1 plus 1 by 4. Right? So 1 by 4 is the extra time that is required. So 1 by 4 corresponding to 20 minutes because turtle is 20 minutes late. So what is the total time? So total time corresponding to 80 minutes. So in this way we can solve the problem. Coming to the next problem. Motorcycles at a speed of 7 km per hour and reaches the park 8 minutes late. Okay, so next time he increases the speed by 1 km per hour and reaches 7 minutes early. Find the distance from his house to park. Let us consider the distance is d. How much time Manu will take at a speed of 7 km per hour? So this much of time. When he increases the speed, say to 8 km, because 1 km per hour more, so what will be the time required? This. Definitely this one is more because the speed is less. So what is the difference of these two time? The first case 8 minutes late, in the second case 7 minutes early. So this difference is basically the 15 minutes. But here if d is in kilometer, 8 and 7 these are in kilometer per hour, so the time is in hour. So just convert this in hour. So this will be what? d by 56, right? And here it is 15 by 60. So you can easily calculate 456 is 14. So d is equal to 14. Okay. Now move on to the next problem. Here Amit went to Delhi at a speed of 50 km per hour and came back the same. Since going Delhi and came back in the same route, that means the distance is same. You have to find out the average of 50 and 150. So do the harmonic mean. 2xy by x plus y. This is what is the formula that we have seen. So use simply that one. So 2 into 50 into 100 divided by 50 plus 100, that is 150. So if you do this, you will get this answer 200 by 3. Okay, let's move on to the next problem. So here Vijay travels the first 3 hours of a journey at a speed of 60 km per hour, next 4 hours 65, remaining 8 hours at a speed of 70. So 3 different time intervals has been given. So you see that in the first 3 hours speed was 60, next 4 hours speed was 65, and the next 8 hours speed was 70. So simply find out what is the distance by multiplying time into speed. You know distance. So the distance traveled is 180, distance traveled is 4 into 65, that is 260, 8 into 70, that is 560. Okay, and find out what is the total. So it is 5 to 7, 8, 1000. Okay, and you find out what is the total time, that is 15. Okay, now average speed will be distance by total distance divided by total time. So 1000 by 15. So you can see the answer is 200 by 3. Moving on to the next problem. The similar problem, only difference is that in place of time now the distances are given. So in the same way you just write for the first 180 kilometer, you see it is moving at a 60 km per hour. For the next 120 kilometer, it moves at a speed of 40 km per hour. For the next 240, it is moving at 60 km per hour. Let's simply find out what are the times. Okay, so find out what is the total time, find out what is the total distance traveled. So simply divide distance by total time, you will get this one. Okay, so here are some practice problem for you. I am just giving you the hint. The car covers a distance in 4 hours, traveling at a speed of 60 km per hour. So you can easily find out what is the total distance traveled. Then the question is how much time it would take if you are traveling at 20 km per hour. Okay, 20 km per hour faster. So previously it was 60, now 20 km per hour faster. So what is the speed now? That is 80 km. So you will get the answer. A person covers 3 equal distances for racetrack at a speed of 20, 30 and 40 km per hour. Then what is his average speed? The equal distances, that means the harmonic mean. So harmonic mean of 3 speeds will be 1 by 20, 3 by 1 by 20, 1 by 30 plus 1 by 40. Okay, so you can easily find out this one. Third one, a boy goes to school at a speed of 9 km per hour and returns at a speed of 6 km. So the same distance covering at 9 and 6, you can easily find out the average speed of 9 and 6. So that will be the harmonic mean. So 2 into 9 into 6 divided by 9 plus 6. What is 9 plus 6? 15. Okay, so you can easily find out this is what is the average speed. Now in this average speed he takes total 5 hours time. So simply multiply it by 5 hours. So what is the distance? Remember, this distance is the double the distance from his house to the school, because it is going and returning. So question is, what is the distance between his house and the school? So that will be this distance divided by 2. So this divided by 2. So this 2 will cancel, 5 will cancel, answer will be 2 into 9, that is 18. Walking 5 by 4 of his usual speed, a person improves his timing by 20. Okay, similar to that turtle problem we have started with. So 5 by 4 of his usual speed means it is running at a faster speed than the usual speed. So obviously the time taken will be inversely proportional, that is less. So 5 by 4, so the time taken will be just the reciprocal. So 4 by 5. So 4 by 5 is how much less than the original time? That is 1 minus 1 by 5. So this 1 by 5 basically is corresponding to what? This 1 by 5 is corresponding to 20 minutes. So what is the total time? So 1 corresponding to 5 into 20. So the time taken will be 100. Okay. Now let us see some of the problems related to relative velocities. But before that, you have to remember certain things. That in the same direction of one object with respect to the another, if two objects are moving in the same direction, then the relative speed will be higher speed minus the lower speed. If x is the higher, then x minus y. Okay. If two objects are moving in the opposite direction, either they are going away from each other or they are moving towards each other, in both the cases the relative speed, remember, will be x plus y. Another thing, when a train is crossing any stationary object or negligible width, then the total distance covered, remember, its own length. Okay. And in this case, the object which the train crosses is stationary, then the distance traveled is the length of the train plus length of the object. Suppose a train trying to cross a platform or a bridge, in that case the total distance traveled is the length of the train plus length of the object. So if you can remember these things, then we can solve few problems related to relative velocities. Here you can see another point, that the train crosses another train. Definitely if a train crosses another train, then total distance traveled will be sum of the length of the two trains, and the relative velocity will be depending whether the two trains are moving in the same direction or they are moving in the opposite direction. So let us start solving problem. So here the problem is, a thief flees city A in a car towards city B on a stretch of a straight road of 500 km. So let us consider this is city A and this is city B, and this is the 500 km long, 500 km total distance. Okay. And the thief is moving at a speed of 80 km per hour. Okay. So in 30 minutes, a police party leaves the city A. Okay. So thief has already started, and in 30 minutes he is at a leading position with respect to the police. So in 30 minutes, how much the thief will go? Suppose this is the position of the thief when the police started. Okay, here is the police. So the velocity of the thief, 80 km per hour. 30 minutes means half an hour. So in half an hour, how much it will go? 40 km. So when the police started, the thief is 40 km ahead. Okay. Now what is the speed of thief? That 80 km per hour. What is the speed of police? The speed of police is 90 km per hour. So they are moving in the same direction. So what is the relative velocity? Relative velocity will be the difference. So 90 minus 80, this is what is the relative velocity. So relative velocity is 10 km per hour. Okay. So in per hour 10 km, the distance will be reduced. So police has to catch this, has to reduce this 40 km distance between them. So how much time it will take? So this 40 km divided by their relative velocity. Okay. So in 4 hours. So this is what is the answer. Now coming to this problem. A train takes 10 seconds to cross a pole and 25 seconds to cross a platform. Remember, 10 seconds to cross a pole means in 10 seconds it crosses its own distance. And 25 seconds to cross a platform means in 25 seconds it crosses its own distance plus platform. And length of the platform is given 300 meters. So it is clear that in 25 seconds he covers extra the distance of the platform, that is 300 meters. So how much time will be taken by the train to cover this 300 meter distance? That is basically the 25 minus 10. This is the time taken to cover a distance of 300 meters. So in 15 seconds it covers only 300 meters. So this is what is the speed. So in 15 seconds the train covers 300 kilometers. So question is, what is the length of the train? So length of the train he covered in 10 seconds, right? So in 10 seconds, how much distance the train will move? That is the thing that you have to find out. So that will be what? Simple unitary method, 300 by 15 into 10. Okay? So that will be 200. Clear? Now these are certain practice problem. Here you can see a 600 meter long train running at 60 km per hour will take how much time to cross a man sitting in another train which is 400 meter long running at 48 km per hour in the opposite direction. Here a man sitting on a running train moving opposite to that train, right? So but the total distance traveled here you have to remember is the this length of the train, that is the 600 meter that he has to cover. Okay, because it is not the crossing the other train, only the person who is sitting on that moving train. But the relative velocity will be what? Relative, since the two trains are moving in opposite direction, so relative velocities will be 60 plus 80, sorry 60 plus 40, the velocity of the two train in kilometer per hour. Remember this distance is in meter, so just convert this kilometer per hour into meter per second. So you have to multiply it by 5 by 18. So if you multiply it by 5 by 18, you will get this one. That 18 actually goes up. So this is what? This is 108, and we know 18 into 6 is 108. Okay, so you can easily find out. So 100 by 5, that is 20. So in 20 seconds it will be the 20 second. Now a train traveling at 72 km per hour crosses a bridge of 350 meter length completely in 30 seconds. Then what is the length of the train? Okay, so since it is given that it is a 72 km per hour, and in 30 seconds how much distance the train will move, that you can easily find out, because 72 km per hour. So what is the velocity in meter per second? Simply multiplied by 5 by 18. Okay, so that is 20 meter per second. So 20 meter per second, and in 30 seconds how much distance it will move? So 20 into 30, right? So that is 600 meter, and 600 meter is basically the distance of the bridge plus the train. And already you know the distance of the bridge is 350. So what will be the distance of the train? The distance of the train will be this 600 minus 350, that is 250. Okay, now let us see some of the problems related to boat and stream. Here you have to remember this formula, that if the boat is moving in the downstream, that means the velocity of the stream and the boat are in the same direction, that is what is called the downstream, then the speed will be b plus w, they will be added up. And when the boat travels against the stream, which is called the upstream, then speed of the boat will be b minus w. Okay, remember where b is the speed of the man or the boat in still water, and w is the speed of the water or the stream. If upstream is denoted by u and downstream is denoted by d, that means if upstream speed and the downstream speeds are denoted by u and d, then directly by using this formula you can find out what is the speed of the boat in still water and the speed of the water or stream. Okay, using this formula. So if you can remember these formulas, then many problems can be solved in a much smaller time. Let us see. So here Deepak can travel 9 km per hour in water. Deepak can travel at 9 km per hour in still water. So what is given? That is given b is 9. Okay. Now he travels 65 km downstream. 65 km downstream means what is the velocity in downstream? We know that sum of boat and water. So this is the time required in 65 km downstream, and then returned. Okay, so what will be the returning time? That will be 65 divided by because in the returning time it will be upstream. Okay, 9 minus W. Taking all together 18 hours. So altogether what is the total time? That is 18 hours. Okay, so what you have to find out? Find the rate of flow of water. So W you have to find out. This is what is the question. Find out what is W. Now apparently it seems difficult to solve the problem, or it may be time consuming. Now I am showing you some trick by which you can very easily within 30 seconds you can solve this kind of equations, because this kind of equations are coming more and more for boat stream problems specifically. So look carefully. Here you see what is the number, that is 65. So try to break it into two factors. 65 we can consider as 13 into 5, right? Okay, so 13 into 5. So what you can consider, now you tell me this whole fraction, if you compare with respect to this whole fraction, which one is more? Definitely this one will be more, because in the denominator it is the smaller number, so this one will be more. So you can consider this 13 and 5. Let us consider this value is as if 13. This value 13 means the whole thing, that is what is 13. The whole thing is 13, and this whole thing is 5, right? Then this 13 plus 5 will be 18. Okay, somehow we are trying to match so that it will become 18. So if the whole thing is 13 and numerator it is 65, so definitely 9 minus W will be what? 9 minus W will be 5. So 9 minus W is 5. Okay, so if you know 9 minus W is 5, then what will be the W? W will be 4. So problem is solved. Okay, so now initially you are thinking that it is not possible for any arbitrary other problems, but now I will show you some other problems also and how you can do it. And if you practice this kind of problem, I am quite sure that you will be able to adapt this trick, and it will save a lot of time for this kind of problems. Okay, let us see another problem and how we can solve it. Now take this problem, similar kind of problem. First try to write the equation. A man covers 33 km upstream and 84 km downstream in 7 hours. So for 33 km upstream, so what is the time required? In upstream, you know, the boat minus W, okay, plus for 84 km downstream. In downstream definitely the speed time required will be less, because the speed is more. Okay, and the total time taken is given 7 hours. And in the second equation he also covers 55 km upstream. Okay, so what is the time taken? That is B minus W. And for 63 km downstream, time taken will be plus W, and this is given 8. So now just only by looking at the equation it is possible to solve without actually solving it, because you can see that if you want to try to solve it actually, then it will take a lot of time, right? So see the factors. Here you can see it is 33. 33 is what? 11 into 3. Okay, now this whole number, this whole fraction, if you simplify, it can be 11 or 3. Can it be 11? No. If it is 11, then the sum cannot be 7. So this thing must be 3. Okay, so if the whole thing is 3, then what is B minus W? Then definitely B minus W is 11. Okay, now if the whole thing is 3, to make it 7, this whole thing must be equal to what? 4. If the whole thing is 4 and it is 84, then definitely this B plus W will be equal to what? 21. So now you know what is B minus W and what is B plus W. Okay, so if B plus W is 21, B minus W is 11, what you have to find out? Find out the velocity of the boat in still water. So if you want to find out B, that will be sum of these two divided by 2, that you know. So 11 plus 21 divided by 2, that will be the velocity of the boat. And what will be the velocity of the water? That will be simply 21 minus 11 divided by 2. So it is taking a very small time to solve this kind of problem. If you try to solve it from the equation, it will take a lot of time. Now coming to this problem. A man can row 6 km per hour in still water. That means B is given 6. And if the river is running 2 km, that means W is also given 2. It takes 3 hours more to go from A to B upstream and then to go downstream from B to A. So we do not know what is the distance from B to A. Let us consider that distance is AB, and in upstream definitely the time required is more. So in upstream, what is the velocity? That velocity 6 minus 2, which is 4. And in the downstream, what is the velocity? That is 6 plus 2, which is 8. So how much time it is more? That you know, it is given 3 hours. Okay, so 1 by 4 minus 1 by 8 is 1 by 8. So this is AB by 8 is equal to 3. So what is the distance? You can find out easily, and that is 24. Now coming to the next. Okay, these are certain practice problems that I am just giving you the hint to solve these problems. A man can row 6 km per hour in still water, and it takes him twice as long as to row up as to row down the river. Okay, find the rate of the stream. Okay, so in this case, basically the upstream and downstream velocities are compared. Okay, so you know that upstream and downstream velocities are what? Upstream velocity divided by downstream velocity. Okay, and this ratio is given that twice. So this is half, because this one is smaller, this one is more, so this will be half. So you can easily find out by using componendo and dividendo. So B by W is equal to what? This plus this by this minus this. So it will be 3 divided by this will be 1 divided by 3. This will be 3 divided by 1. So you can find out the velocity of boat by velocity of fin is equal to this. So what we are basically doing, componendo dividendo, means if the ratio is half, then what you have to do, 1 plus 2 divided by 2 minus 1, by which you are getting B minus W by B plus W. How you are getting this B by W? Basically you are adding and subtracting this thing. Okay, so B minus W plus B plus W, that will be at the top, divided by B plus W minus B minus W. So whatever operation you are doing in the left hand side, and the same operation you have to do in the right hand side. Okay, anyway, so now see this second problem. What we found is that B plus W is 3 by 1. So it is given that in still water the velocity is 6. So B is given 6. If B is known, the question is what is W. So that is very simple. So W will be 2, right? So now coming to the second problem. A man can row 7 km per hour in still water in a stream which is flowing free. So both B and W are given. It takes 7 hours to row to a place and back. That means both upstream and downstream. How far is the distance? Let us consider that distance is D. So that D divided by, in upstream it will take 7 minus 3. That means this much of time. In downstream it will take D divided by 10, because 7 plus 3 downstream. So and the total time 7 hours. So this is 7. So what you have to do, you have to find out D. This is a very simple equation. So simply D here it is 20, and 5 plus 2, that is 7, is equal to 7. So D is equal to 20. Okay. This one, a man can row 30 kilometer upstream and 44 kilometer downstream in 10 hours. And he can also row 40 kilometer upstream and 55 kilometer. So this is the problem similar to so this is the problem similar whatever you have. Write the equation first. So 30 kilometer upstream, so upstream it will be B minus W plus 44 kilometer downstream, so 44 by B plus W. Okay, and that is equal to 10 hours. Okay, so see this one where it is 44, the only factors possible are 11 into 4. 11 is not possible because that will be more than 10, so definitely the whole fraction must be equal to 4. If the whole fraction is 4, then definitely this B plus W is 11. Okay, total you have to make 10, so definitely this whole fraction has to be 6. If the whole fraction is 6 and this is 30, so definitely B minus W is 5. Okay, so if you know B plus W, B minus W, you can find out anything. Find the rate of the current. So W you have to find out. So what will be W? W will be 11 minus 5 divided by 2. Okay, so it will be 3. Now Ramesh can row a certain distance downstream in 6 hours and return the same distance in 9 hours. Okay, so again the upstream and downstream situation is given. That means if the distance if the stream flows at the rate of 3, find the speed of the Ramesh in still water. So if the distance is D and in upstream that is B minus W. Okay, so that is given. Upstream it is that means it is given 9, and in downstream that is B plus W, it is what? That is 6, right? So if you take the ratio, what is B plus W by B minus W? B plus W by B minus W is equal to 9 by 6. So what will be B by W? Simply using componendo dividendo, it will be 9 plus 6, okay, divided by 9 minus 6. Okay, so that will be what? That will be 15 by 3. So 15 by 3 is what? 5. So velocity of the boat is 5 times that of the water. So it is known that the stream flows at 3 km per hour. So what will be the speed of the boat? That will be 3 into 5, that is 15. Okay, so answer is 15 km per hour. Now let us see some problems on racings and games. In a kilometer race means the total distance is 1 kilometer. A beats B by 50 meters or 10 seconds. So it is very important to understand the meaning of this line. Whether this 10 seconds is of 10 seconds of A or 10 seconds of B. So this you have to understand very well. A beats B by 50 meters. Okay, or in 10 seconds. So here this 10 seconds is the time taken by B extra 10 seconds. So in this 50 meter distance, B actually traveled in 10 seconds. So from this information you can find out the velocity of B. So what is the speed of B? So speed of B is basically 50 meters in 10 seconds. So 50 divided by 10, so 5 meter per second. So this is what is the speed of B that we get from the first information. Find the time taken by A to complete the race. So if you know the speed of B, definitely you can find out the total time taken by the B. So total time taken by B is the total distance, that 1 kilometer race, that is 1000 meter divided by 5, so it is 200 second. If the time taken by B is 200 second, what will be the time taken by A? It will be 10 second less, so answer is 190 second. Clear? In a race of 800 meter, A can beat B by 80 meter, and in a race of 600 meter, B beat C by 60 meter. By how many meters will A beat C in a race of 400 meter? To solve this kind of problem, what we do, that first try to understand the meaning, that A can beat B by 80 meter in a 800 meter race. That means if when A moves by 800 meter, then how much B moves? It is 80 meter back, so 720 meter. Since in the same time A moves 800 meter and B 720 meter, that means their velocity ratio is 800:720. So what is that ratio? That ratio, if you take 80:72, that means what? 8, so 10:9. So A is to B is 10:9, that you can see. Now see for the B and C, similar way. So when B moves 600 meter, then C moves 540, because 60 meter less. Okay, so what is the ratio? Ratio is 60:54. That means 10:9, right? So A is to B is 10:9, B is to C is 10:9. So here it is A, here it is B, and here it is C. So what is the ratio of A is to B is to C? Just simply multiply this, and multiply this. So ratio of A is to B is to C will be 100:9 into 10, that is 90. 9 into 9 is 81. So what is the ratio of speed of A and C? That is 100:81. We have to compare A and C. The question is, in a 400 meter race, A beats C by. So here the ratio we have observed that in a 100, then it will be 81, right? So in a 100 meter race, what is the difference? A beat C by how many distance? That is 19 meter, right? So 19 meter in a 100 meter race. So in a 400 meter race, what will happen? Simply multiply it by 4. So answer will be 76. Okay. In a game of 80 points, exactly similar problem. In a game of 80 points, A can give B a lead of 20 points. So similarly, what we do, here it is A, here it is B. So in a game of 80 points, when A gets 80, B is 20 less. And what is C? 29 less. That is 80 minus 29, which is 51. Okay. So this is what is the ratio. We know that. Okay. The question is, then how many points lead B give to C in a game of 180 points? So you have to consider only this part. So 60:51. So it is basically in a game of 60, then what is the lead with respect to C? That is, the lead is 9 in a game of 60. Okay. So what is the total points of B? So 180 points. So just simply multiply it by 3, we will get 180. So what will be the lead? 9 into 3, that is 27 points. So 27 points lead. Okay. So in this way we can solve this problem. Now here you can see some of the problems, practice problems. In a 1800 meter race, A can give B a start of 160 meter. exactly in a similar way. So if this is 800 A, then what will be B? 800 minus 160, that is 640, and C 280. So 800 minus 280. In the same way, B can give C a start of. So in this way, you have to solve the similar problem. So these problems I think need not to be discussed because the problems are exactly similar. A beats B by 37 meters, C beats C by 23 meter in a race of 200 meter. Then how many meters will C beat B in a race of 354? Exactly similar kind of a problem. So find out A is to B is to C and finally solve the problem. At a game of billiard, A can give B 10 points in 80. He can, so exactly here also the same. A can give B 10 points in 80. So that means A is 80 and then B is 70. That is 10 less. Okay, and he can give C 15 in 80. So exactly in a similar way, these problems can be of these different kinds of form, but the basic thing is exactly the same. So you try of your own to solve these problems. Now let us see some of the conceptual problems. Okay, so let us first see this particular problem. Here the statement is two trains, one is Namo Express and Raga Express, starts towards each other from two cities. Let us consider this is one city, say city A, and this is another city, city B, and from this city one train started, from this city another train started, and they are moving towards each other. The speed of them are given, say this is 50 km per hour, this is 58 km per hour, and the distance between the two cities, that is also known, that is 1800 km. As they start, a bird named Democracy sitting at the front end of the Raga start flying towards Namo and touches Namo and then returns to Raga, and so on until the trains meet. That means suppose a bird is here. Okay, so when they started, then this bird will flying and coming here, because the velocity of the bird is very high with respect to the speed of the trains, and again the bird returns back. Maybe by the time the train has moved, again the birds will come here, again the birds will come. So in this way, as the train moves, the birds is continuously moving from one train to the another train. The question is, if the bird moves at a speed of 324 km per hour, then how much distance total the bird will travel? Since the problem is not only lengthy, but also if you look and start from the conventional method, then it will take a long time. Okay, you can consider an infinite series of distances and okay, and find out the sum. That you can definitely do, but that will take a long time. So this problem can be done within 30 seconds very easily. So you see what is the process. So first what we do, we will find out the bird will travel for how much time. Bird will travel till the two trains meet. Then what is the time required for two trains to meet? So the total distance they have to cover is 1800 meter. So in kilometer what? This divided by 1000. Okay, so this much of kilometer they will travel. Then what is the speed, relative velocity of the two trains? That is 50 plus 58, that is 108. So you divide by the relative speed, that is 108 km per hour. So this is what is the total time. Okay, so this is what is the total time in hour required for the trains to meet, and in this time how much distance that bird will move. You know the velocity of the bird, so you simply multiply it by the velocity of the bird in kilometer per hour. So this much kilometer the bird will move. So this will be simply the answer. So here you can see, if you multiply this, it will be 3. So 3 into 1800, that is 5400 divided by 1000. So answer is 5.4 kilometer. Okay. Now coming to the next problem. After traveling 140 kilometer, driver of a train thinks if he will go by the same speed, then he will be late. Thus he increases the speed of the train by 7 km per hour and reaches at the scheduled time. Now, had he covered the whole of the distance at the increased speed, he would have reached early by 20 minutes. And if he had travelled the whole of the distance at the original speed, then he would be late by 7 minutes. Find the total distance. You can see this is a very typical kind of a problem, and try to remember this kind of problem. Okay, so it is a very lengthy problem. Most of the time students do not try to answer this kind of problems, but this kind of problems can be solved within 30 seconds or less than 1 minute. Okay, so first try to understand the kind of problem. Okay, so the problem is basically suppose a train will travel from a point A to B. So it has traveled with some speed, some original speed, say. So with some original speed the train has traveled up to this much of distance, say, and this distance is some distance, say x t or dt, whatever you consider. Okay, x of t he has traveled. After that the driver realized that with this speed if he travels he will not reach by time, so he increased the speed. So now the speed is increased. With increased speed he has moved the rest of the distance. So this is what is the remaining distance he has moved with the increased speed and reach in time. So this is the basic thing what is happening in the first line. Okay, now the question is, it has been this situation, this particular time has been compared. So this particular time is the time required for the train from A to B with this speed consideration. First period with original speed and the next part with increased speed. Now if with the original speed he travelled the whole distance, that means from A to B, if he travelled by the original speed, then we know that it will be late, and that late time is somehow given. Say that late time is LT with respect to the original time. And if he travelled the whole distance with the increased speed, then he will be early, and that early time is also given. Okay, the question is you have to find out the total distance. So what you have to remember for this solving this kind of problem, for this type of problem, remember that the distance travelled divided by the distance remaining. Distance travelled means this distance, in this case that is 140 kilometer. So distance travelled by the remaining distance. So in this problem it is 140 by the remaining distance. That distance we do not know what is the remaining distance. Say that remaining distance is xr, remaining distance, and that will be equal to early time by late time. So early time is given that 20 minutes if he move with the increased speed, and the late time that is given if he moves with the original speed, that is 7. So simply using this formula and find out the remaining distance. So you can see the what will be the remaining distance, 20 and 40, it will be 7. So xr will be 49. So xr is what, 49. So if this distance is 140 and this distance is 49, so what is the total distance? That is 189. So within 30 seconds you can solve this problem. The only thing is that remember, for this kind of problem, the distance traveled by distance remaining is equal to early time by late time. Okay, now I will tell you to prove that why the distance traveled by the distance remaining is equal to early time by late time. That you can do in your copy. You try to practice that. So that is a different thing, but for this particular problem I will request to remember this particular formula. Otherwise, go by the equations, it will take a long time to solve this problem. Now coming to this problem where two trains move simultaneously, one from Chandigarh and the other from Delhi. Okay, and the train which is moving from Chandigarh has to reach Delhi and return, and the train which is moving towards Chandigarh is scheduled to come back to Delhi. So first time they meet 79 kilometers from the Delhi, and after traveling for 1 hour from the first point of meeting, the trains meets for the second time 37 kilometers from Chandigarh. Find the total distance. Okay, suppose this is Chandigarh and say this is Delhi. So one train starts from Chandigarh, another train starts from Delhi. So they suppose meet at some point here for the first time, and it is given that this particular first point is 79 kilometer from Delhi. So this distance is known, that is 79. Okay, then this train keeps on moving, come to Chandigarh, again return, and in the return path again that train also go in that direction, and in the return, and finally in the return path suppose they meet here for the second time, and this meeting point is given that 37 kilometer from Chandigarh. So this distance is 37 kilometer. Okay, you have to find out the total distance between Chandigarh and the Delhi. So in between this distance, if you can find out, you can find out the total distance, right? So can you tell me that what is the total distance traveled by the train? Here you can see that 3 times of the distance from Chandigarh to Delhi actually traveled in this meeting twice. You see that for the first time they meet here, then they covered this distance again, and then finally this one. So 3 times the distance from Chandigarh to Delhi actually they have covered. Anyway, to find out this middle distance, you have to remember only this formula. The middle distance is equal to twice of difference of the end distance to meet. So in this particular problem, what is the end distances? That is 79 minus 37. So this will be the middle distance, and once you know what is the middle distance, simply add these 3 distances to find out what is the total distance. Okay, so what is here? This is 2 4 into 2, that is 84. So this distance is 84. So total distance is 79 plus 84 plus 37, which is equal to 200. Okay, so in this way, within 30 seconds we can solve this problem. Only thing you have to remember this method, this formula. Okay, again I will request you to prove this formula, that why this is so. Okay, but these are very typical problems. Okay, so it is always suggested from my side that you try to remember this kind. Okay, the numbers will change, but if you can remember this particular typical type, and if you remember the formula, within 30 seconds you can solve. Now a train approaches a tunnel XY. Let us consider this is a tunnel where this is X and this is Y. A cat is located inside the tunnel at 7/27 of the distance XY. So let us consider from X its distance is 7. So this distance is 7, and suppose the total length of the tunnel is 27. Okay, total length is 27. the train whistles and the cat starts running. Okay, suppose the train is here somewhere, this is what is the entrance, suppose the train is away from it, and we do not know that how much distance away from the entrance, but when the train whistles, that means at this position, suppose train whistles, then cat starts moving, and cat starts moving towards the entrance of the tunnel. So cat starts moving from this position to here. So this is the initial position of the cat when cat listens this whistle, and it has been given that the train catches the cat exactly at the entrance. So by the time train comes to the entrance, and the cat also come to the entrance, that means that the time taken by the train to from this position to the entrance, in that time cat travels 7 unit of distance. Okay, so if the cat moves towards the exit y, that means instead of moving in this direction when the cat listens the music whistle, suppose the cat starts to move in this direction, then again it is given that the train catches the cat exactly at the exit. That means in that case, when cat reaches this position, then train also reaches this position. Okay, so the question is find the ratio of the speed of the train to the cat. Okay, to solve this problem, consider first find out that how much distance cat will move from when the train comes from here to here. So when the train will be at this position, if the cat moves in this direction, we know that by the time cat moves 7 kilometer, so 7 unit of distance, so cat will move 7 unit in this direction. Now because now it is moving towards y. Okay, so what is this distance? This distance is 14 units. And what is the total distance? That we know 27 unit. So what is the remaining distance? That is 13 units. And it is known that when the cat reaches y, the train also reaches y. That means the time is same. In that same time, cat moves 13 unit of distance and train moves 27 unit of distance, because from this position cat moves 13 unit and in the same time train moves 27. So what is the ratio of the train to the cat? That will be 27 divided by 13. That's all. Okay. Now consider this typical problem. Every day Mr. Ghosh reaches the railway station at 5 p.m. His driver brings Mr. Ghosh's car to pick him and also reaches at 5 p.m. without fail. What is the problem? Suppose this is the railway station. Okay, and every day Mr. Ghosh reaches railway station at 5 p.m. and the car also reaches railway station exactly at 5 p.m. So this is the scheduled time. Every day this is happening. And what happens? Mr. Ghosh enters into the car and ultimately reaches home. Suppose this is the home of the Mr. Ghosh. Okay, so this is what is the usual routine. So the driver of the car moves and exactly at 5 driver reaches the railway station and takes Mr. Ghosh, and then Mr. Ghosh come back to the home. This is the usual routine. One day Mr. Ghosh reaches the railway station at 3:20 p.m. Okay, one day Mr. Ghosh reaches railway station at 3:20 p.m. So he is early and he knows that the driver will come exactly at 5, so he did not wait for the driver and start walking. Since his driver is not aware of his early arrival, Mr. Ghosh starts walking towards his residence. So Mr. Ghosh starts walking and he meets his driver who is following his normal routine. So he meet with his driver somewhere in the road, and get into the car and finally reaches home in the car. And in this process, what Mr. Ghosh find, Mr. Ghosh and his driver reach home 26 minutes earlier than the usually what happens. So he is 26 minutes earlier on that day. The question is, find out how much time did Mr. Ghosh walked. So this is what is the problem. Now in this process, tell me that why this 26 minutes earlier, where this time actually saves on that particular day. The time saves basically the car where Mr. Ghosh meet in between the home and the railway station, somewhere in between. So car need not to travel from that position to the railway station and come back to that position. So this distance from here to from meeting position to the railway station and again come back to that position, this much of time actually saved of the car. So that total time is 26 minutes. And since car reaches exactly at 5 p.m. here, so what is the time required for the car from here to here? So that is 13 minutes, and from here to here it is 13 minutes. So this 26 minutes actually saved. So the time required for the car to go from this meeting point to the railway station is 13 minutes, and usual time of the car to reach here is the 5 p.m. So what is the time, usual time of the car at this meeting position? That is 5 p.m. minus 13 minutes. So at this position, what is the time? That is 4:47 p.m. because 4:47 p.m. So if this point is 4:47 p.m. and Mr. Ghosh started walking at 3:20 p.m., then how much time Mr. Ghosh traveled? 1 hour 27 minutes. That's all. Okay. Now consider this problem. There are two stations, P and Q. Okay. Suppose this is one station P and this is another station Q. Train X starts from station P at 5 a.m. Suppose at 5 a.m. one train starts and it reaches station Q at 12 p.m. 12 p.m. right? And from Q another train Y which starts from Q at 7 a.m. okay, at 7 a.m. and it reaches P at 12 p.m. okay. At what time the trains will cross each other, that you have to find out. Okay, so you have to find out when they will cross each other. So that time you have to find out. Okay, to solve this problem, first you see that how much time this X train takes from 5 to 12. So 7 hours. The total time taken by X is 7 hours. What is the total time taken by the Y? That is the 5 hours. Y has taken 5 hours. So which one having the higher speed? Definitely this Y having the higher speed. So what is the ratio of their speed? Ratio of the speed of X and the speed of Y is what? That is 5/7, because you know that speed is just the reciprocal of the time when the distances are same. So this one Sx by Sy is 5/7. Clear? Okay, now you just see from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. this Y train has not yet moved because it has started from 7 a.m. only. So from 5 to 7 up to 7 a.m. let us consider this at this point 7 a.m. So in these 2 hours, only the X train moves up to this point. Okay, so now it is 7 a.m. Now both X will start move from this position and this will move from Q, Y will move from Q at 7 am. Now where they will meet? Where they will meet, because now both have started moving towards each other. Okay, so where they will meet? They will meet in a point in the ratio of their speeds. Okay, let us just think in this way. Suppose this is moving with some velocity, say Va, and this is moving with some velocity, say Vy, from the same time. Suppose they have started moving. So where they will meet? Since they are traveling the same time up to this point, since they are meeting at that position, and if they have started from the same time, that means up to meeting point they have covered the same time. Okay, so for the same time their ratio of their distance will be same as the ratio of their velocity, because now the time is constant, so distance and velocity are just proportional. So where they will meet, that point will be same as their speed. So this is what is the idea that we are trying to make. So what is the, now the total time, if you know what is the total time required, that is again proportional to the distance. Total time required is proportional to the distance traveled. If the distance is more, time is more. So since this is the speed which is constant, so that this time of meeting will be the exactly this distance ratio. That means this distance by the total distance is equal to this time divided by the total time. So we just trying to use this particular idea. So here you know the velocity ratio. So what will be the distance ratio? The distance ratio will be 5 by 12, 5 by 12, because this distance ratio will be 5 by 12. Distance ratio is basically 5 by 12 of the total distance. So from here to here, this distance traveled by X train is 5 by 12 of the total distance, and that is nothing also by 5 by 12 of the total time taken by X, because distance are time and proportional. So the total time taken for from here to here by the X train is from 7 to 12, that means 5 hours is this. So 5 by 12 into 5 is the time taken to move from here to here, move from here to here. Okay, so in this way we can find out what is that meeting time. So that is 25 by 12, which is equal to what? 2 hour. 1 by 12 hour means 1 by 12 hour is 60 by 12 minute, right? That means 5 minutes. So 12 hour 5 minute, 2 hour 5 minutes. So 2 hour 5 minutes is from 7 am. So what is the time here then? 7 am plus 2 hour 5 minutes, that is 9 5 am. Okay. Now coming to this problem. Sahil leaves from Chandigarh for Delhi at 8 am, whereas Rohit leaves from Delhi for Chandigarh at 9:20 am. Okay, so let us consider this is Chandigarh, this is Delhi. Sahil leaves from Chandigarh at 8 am. Okay, so this is 8 am, and Rohit at 9:20. Okay, 9:20 am, and they meet somewhere at 10:05. Okay, so 10:05 am. Now after meeting they start again and take the same time to reach their respective destination. So After that, after they meet, they reach their destination in the same time. The question is, at what time will they reach their destination? So the time required after meeting, you see, the time required after meeting will be the geometric mean of the initial time. So the time required after meeting will be equal to geometric mean of the initial time. What is the time taken for the first meet of who is coming from Chandigarh? That is Sahil. That is 8 a.m. to 10:05. 8 a.m. to 10:05 is what? 2 hours 5 minutes. 2 hours 5 minutes means 125 minutes. And Rohit starts at 9:20 to 10:05. So how much? It is 45 minutes, right? So it will be 120 multiplied by 45. So this is what is the geometric mean of the individual time for the first meet. Okay, so this will be the time required. Since they are reaching their destination at the same time, then that time after meet you can find out this one. So what will be that? If you do that, 120 is what? 9 into 5 is 45 into 120, not 120, it is 125. 125 is 25 into 5, right? So square root of that means 355. So this is 75 minutes. So after 10:05 it will take 75. So 10:05 75 minutes means 10:05 plus 75 minute plus 75 minute. This is what is the answer. So that will be 11:20. Okay, so in this way you can solve the problem. Definitely here also, that why the geometric mean, it is very simple, that I can show you also that if the velocity of Sahil, who is starting from Chandigarh, if that is VC, and in 125 minutes how much he will travel into 125 in that time. So that is what is this distance, right? So for traveling, what is the time taken by the Rohit to cover this distance? That is the velocity of Rohit, and this is what is the time that we are interested to find out, that is the remaining time, this capital T. Again we can write what is this distance. So Rohit traveled this distance in 45 minutes, right? So velocity of Rohit into 45 minutes divided by what is the time taken by the Sahil, this one, and that will be same as this one, this T, right? So this is divided by VC. Okay, I think this particular equation will give you that why it is the geometric mean of these two. So from here you can definitely find out what is VD by VC. Okay, you can find out what is VD by VC from this part, and once you know what is VD by VC, just put in any one of the expression and you can find out what is this time, and you will get the same answer. Okay, so here are some practice problem of this typical kind of problems that we have covered under this particular section of conceptual problems. So you do all these problems, try that whether you can solve it within 1 minute or not. Okay, thank you very much.